Good morning and welcome to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. I hope everyone is doing well on this Monday morning. I hope everyone had a nice weekend. I hope the football didn't ruin it for you all. Yeah, we're back. We're back after a couple of days off. Massive show to bring you guys this morning. So much to get into, so many talking points to be had, so much opportunity for you to get involved as a community and have some conversation with us. So yeah, really, really excited for today's show. If you do enjoy today's video, please do me a small favor and smash a like on the video. It doesn't cost any money, completely free. And also make sure to subscribe. We're on the road to 22,000 subscribers, so please do get involved. On the show this morning, we're going to be talking about a potential shock loan deal for Karim Benzema, 6-month loan deal. That's what's being reported this morning. We'll also be talking about 20 million euro deal that has been confirmed today. So we'll be talking about that. And we'll also be talking, of course, about this Olise swap deal that's just broken in the last kind of hour or so. So some really, really exciting topics to get into. We'll also, as you can imagine, be talking about yesterday's game against Tottenham. I think I'll start the show off with that just because it's fresh in my head. I know what I want to say. But as always, I invite you to get in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on all things Manchester United. I love to see what you guys have to say as fellow Manchester United fans. So get in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts and let's get on with the show. Obviously, yeah, as I said, I didn't do a video yesterday. I was out all day walking in the forest. Absolutely beautiful. Just being away from football, away from screens for a little bit. So I had a really, really nice day. Came back, went to the pub with some friends and watched the football, which I don't usually do. I usually watch it at home. But yeah, yesterday, watched the football, obviously. I'll be honest with you guys, I was not impressed at all. I wasn't impressed against Wigan. We won 2-0, but I thought we were rubbish. Yesterday, I'll tell you what though, right? Let me just give you my summary because I don't want to talk about this for too long. Yesterday was how we played last season. And what I mean by that is park the bus, counter-attacking football, being dominated by other teams. We hit them on the counter and we score. That was what we did last season. That was how we got third. That was how we won the Carabao Cup. So just remind yourselves of that, okay? The football last season was not good, but it worked. And sometimes in football, the results are the most important thing. Being the Manchester United manager is the hardest job in world football, I would say. Genuinely. It's up there, if not the hardest. And Erik ten Hag last season realised that with that squad of players, he was unable to play his tick-attacker, 70-80% possession, pinning the other team in their half. And he didn't try and... Well, sorry, he did try and do it, didn't he? He tried to do it against Brentford and Brighton, the first two games of the season last year. We lost 4-0 to Brentford and we lost to Brighton at home on the opening day. He tried to play Ajax-style football in those first two games. And he very, very quickly realised last season that he wasn't going to succeed at Manchester United with that current set of players doing the Ajax style of football. So he immediately changed his style to park the bus, counter-attacking, which is what Ollie used to do. And it works. It does work. But it's not enjoyable to watch, in my opinion. And people coming, being all shocked about yesterday. I think Erik ten Hag's realised again that the only way he's going to keep his job is if he gets results. Now, that sounds obvious, right? But the only way that we can get results with this squad of players, whether you like it or not, and I think this is just a fact now, and people will say, oh, what about Ange? It's completely different. He has different players with different attributes, different skill sets. With this current squad of players, I'm pretty confident. I mean, obviously, I can't say 100%. This is just an opinion. But in my opinion, with this set of players, their best way of playing is counter-attacking football. Park the bus, counter-attack, be dominated in possession by the other team and you hit them on the break. Like, just think about it logically, right? Think about all of the really, really big results that we've had since Ten Hag has been here. How many of them have been playing, beautiful tick-attacker, 60-70% possession, scoring 5-6 goals? Like, I don't think there's been one. The games that we've won against, Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal's, we've parked the bus. We've got kind of lucky. We've hit them on the break with moments of magic. And that was what we saw yesterday. And I think what that was the most frustrating thing for me yesterday was that I was really, really excited this season of seeing Ajax-style football. That was the main thing I wanted from Erik ten Hag this season, okay? I know results were important, but I wanted to be entertained. I wanted to be entertained. That was all I asked at the beginning of this season. I had no expectation. I didn't want to win... Well, obviously, I'd love to win the league, but I wasn't sat here on these videos at the beginning of the season saying, we're going to win the league, we're going to win the Champions League. I was like, we'll probably be in a battle for top four, but the main thing I want to see is better football. And in all fairness to Erik ten Hag, he has tried to do that. He has. But it's backfired massively because I'm telling you for a fact, this squad of players cannot play Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp, this modern style of football. They just can't do it. It's a fact. I'm sorry. So the way that I look at this now, right, going forward is I think Erik ten Hag can work as the Manchester United manager, 100%. I think he can be successful. I think he can win us Premier Leagues without a shadow of a doubt. There's not a single bit of doubt in my head about that. What there is doubt about, well, there's not even doubt. I'm certain of it. I don't gamble, but I would bet you any amount of money that this squad of players will never succeed under Erik ten Hag. Ever. I genuinely believe that. Like last season, Liverpool weren't very good. Chelsea weren't very good. I don't want to say it was a fluke, but we parked the bus, hit on the counter-attack. Most of the games that we played, the other team arguably could have won or it should have been a draw, and we'd have a moment of magic, Rashford shooting from outside the box, and we got lucky. This season, he's tried. He has tried, and you can't criticise him for that. He's tried to play a better style of football, and it doesn't work. These players can't do it. Bruno Fernandes is incapable of holding the ball. Yes, once in a game, he'll play one beautiful pass and will score a goal from it, which happened yesterday. But every other time, he loses the ball. That's not what happens in a Jurgen Klopp or Pep Guardiola side. You don't have players like that. You literally keep the ball until you pass it into the other team's net. You saw the goal that Bernardo Silva scored against Newcastle on the weekend. Absolutely beautiful. When was the last time Manchester United scored a goal like that? Tell me, I can't remember. Every single one of our goals are moments of magic. Every single time. Think about it. It is. Both of our goals yesterday, completely out of nowhere on the counter-attack. Højlund smashes it into the back of the net. Nice goal. Rashford, the same. Got a bit lucky, hits it, and it goes in. There's no dominating performances. Johnny Evans, yesterday Johnny Evans, he was definitely at fault for that Bentancur goal, as well as Onana. Just look through the squad of this team, right? Eriksen is a CDM. Why is Eriksen still playing professional football as a CDM? He's never been a CDM in his whole career. He's been a number 10 for his whole career. He plays in Bruno Fernandes' position, but for some reason we play him as a number 6, as a CDM. But you can't really criticise Erik ten Hag. Who was he going to play instead? McTominay. Nobody wants McTominay to play. Rashford doesn't pass the ball. He wouldn't work in a Jurgen Klopp or Pep Guardiola side. Garnacho, I think, is a bit harsh to criticise because he's still only very young, and I think he can be turned into whatever we want. But from this current crop of players, right, and I'm not even being dramatic, I think the only 3 players that I'd actually keep. Now, just to give context, this is if Erik ten Hag is staying as the manager. The only 3 players that I would keep and build the squad around would be Rasmus Højlund, Garnacho, and Kobbie Mainoo. I genuinely don't think any of the other players are capable of playing the style of football that Erik ten Hag was brought in to play. I think that's for a fact. Ralf Rangnick said the same thing when he came in. He said he came in, Ralf, on the 6-month interim job. He was trying to play his, he's the godfather of the Gegenpress. Obviously, the football that Jurgen Klopp plays. Jurgen Klopp got his style of football from Ralf Rangnick. That's a known fact. He tried to come in and play that style of football at Manchester United, and he said that the players weren't capable of doing it. It's public knowledge that these players can't play this style of football. Now, what do we do from here? People saying sack Erik ten Hag, bring in De Zerbi. De Zerbi plays that same style of football. So it's not going to work with De Zerbi either, I don't think, personally. I genuinely think, if people are that desperate for results, that desperate to get more points, I think you need to bring in a manager who plays counter-attacking football. Genuinely. That would be the best option for us. Diego Simeone, someone like that. Now, my ideal situation, right? Excuse me if I'm going on a bit on this section. I haven't done any videos for a couple of days, so there's quite a lot to talk about. I will read out some of your comments and stuff in a minute, and make sure to smash a like and subscribe if you haven't already. But I honestly think, guys, that if we want to keep Erik ten Hag as the manager, which most of you seem to not want anymore, which is fine. You're completely entitled to your opinion. I'm not going to criticize you or say you're wrong or right. I personally want Erik ten Hag to stay. And what would excite me is if in the summer Wan-Bissaka goes, Varane goes if we could get a good amount of money for him, Johnny Evans goes, Christian Eriksen goes, Rashford goes, Bruno goes. Dalot I'd probably keep. I think he was probably the best player on the pitch for United yesterday. I think he's definitely a good option to keep. Onana, I honestly wouldn't care if he goes. You get rid of as many of these people as you can. I mean, even if you look down to the bench, McTominay goes, Martinez obviously can stay, he's a decent player. Anthony goes, Bayinda obviously stays, Tom Heaton I assume will leave anyway. Casemiro I would probably keep because he's probably one of our only world-class players. Pellistri I'd keep, Omari Forson I'd keep, and Camboala I'd keep. But all of these top players, you know, the Martials, the Maguires, the Johnny Evans, the Varans, the Ericssons, the Wan-Bissakas, the Rashfords, the Brunos. Like, for me, none of them are good enough to play. Maybe not good enough. That's not the right word. I think we need to be very clear about this, guys. Good enough is not the right word. We need to recalibrate our thoughts here, because it's easy for people to scream at a camera and say, they're not good enough, get them out. I think most of these players are very, very good in a counter-attacking side. That's my opinion of them. But Erik ten Hag wasn't brought in to counter-attack. He was brought in to play Erik ten Hag Ajax style of football, and he can't do that with these set of players. So it's a big decision for Jim Ratcliffe in the future. Let me know what you guys think about this theory, though. Maybe some of you disagree. Kelly says spot on, Kieran. Fred says, are you saying keep the manager and get rid of the squad? I'm saying this. I'm saying that if we want to play Jurgen Klopp, Pep Guardiola style of football, you probably need to get rid of 90% of the players. That's my opinion, and I feel very, very passionately about that. I think genuinely 90% of those players need to go. If you guys watching today want to see tiki-taka, dominating style of football, these players cannot play that. So what we really, really have to think about here is, right, and what we really need to decide, you know, and form an opinion on is, do we continue with these set of players, right? You know, so we don't sell any of them in the summer. Maybe one or two goes, I don't know. Maybe Martial goes and, I don't know, say Martial and Maguire go in the summer. But you keep the rest of them. You keep the Johnny Evans, you keep Wan-Bissaka, you keep Ericsson, you keep Rashford, you keep Bruno. If that's what you want to do, then I think Erik ten Hag needs to go in the summer. Not because I don't think he can succeed, but because I don't think he can succeed. With that set of players, Erik ten Hag will not succeed at Manchester United, in my opinion. And that's what I realised yesterday. I've been thinking this for a very, very long time. But me personally, I don't want to see counter-attacking football from Manchester United. I want us to play like Man City or Liverpool or even Arsenal do these days. Like dominating the ball, creating lots of opportunities, having the opponent pinned in their half. I mean, even like Tottenham were playing yesterday. I want to see that from us. Yes, in hindsight, Tottenham didn't win the game. So, you know, you could say, well, you want to win, you want to play that style of football, but they didn't even win anyway. Like, I get that. But generally, from a viewer's perspective, football's supposed to be entertaining. We're not Burnley. Do you guys aspire to be Burnley? Answer me that. Because with this set of players, that is the style of football that we can expect. Otherwise, I think we'll just be a mid-table team every single season. I genuinely believe that, because you cannot train these players. I mean, just think about it logically, right? Johnny Evans is 35. Varane's 30, 31. Ericsson's, I think, 32, 33. Like, the spine of that team at the moment are pretty much near retirement age. You're honestly telling me that Erik ten Hag can come in and train Johnny Evans to be like a Pep Guardiola-style centre-back at the age of 35. It's never going to happen. You're telling me that Christian Eriksen can run the midfield at the age of 32, 33. It's never going to happen. Like, that's the big realisation that we've got to understand here. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. A-Fran says we cannot afford to get rid of our good players. Richie says stop making excuses for Ten Hag. He's squandered a huge budget on crap like Anthony and Onana and gone backwards. Richie, the thing you have to understand here, right, mate, is I'm not making excuses for Erik ten Hag. I'm just giving you the realisation, and whether you want to hear that and whether you want to understand that is up to you. The realisation is this. This squad of players are not going to play the style of football that Man City or Liverpool play. They're not. We haven't done that in 10 years. Name me one game where we played like Man City or Liverpool. You won't be able to, under any manager. Every single manager since Sir Alex Ferguson went has been park the bus, counter-attacking, and hit on the break. That's what this squad can do. Erik ten Hag is trying not to do that this season, and it's backfiring massively. Hence, we're going backwards. Last season, the football was terrible. Do you really want to sit and watch Manchester United park the bus against a mid-table team and hit on the counter-attack? Like, I don't want to see that personally as a United fan. I think it's boring. Ginge says, Spurs B team totally outplayed us at Old Trafford. They were missing key players and still looked superb. Yeah. Anyway, I've said my piece on it. You know, if 90% of these players are staying in the summer, then Erik ten Hag has to go for me. But bringing in a De Zerbi, bringing in a whoever it is that you guys want, those aren't the managers that we should be looking at. We should be looking at someone like Sam Allardyce. I'm not even messing around with you. Someone who parks the bus, counter-attacks. I mean, I don't want Ollie back, but even Ollie. I mean, and people keep going on about the players that Tottenham were missing. So Tottenham's first team players that they were missing was Maddison, Son, Bissouma and Sarr. I mean, like, we were missing Martinez, Casemiro. You had Wan-Bissaka playing at left back, so obviously you're missing Luke Shaw. Like, I don't really see... Just go and have a look at the team that started for Manchester United yesterday. And if you can honestly in your heart tell me that you think that team of players can play Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp style football, then I don't really know what to say to you, to be honest. Like, if you genuinely believe that Bruno Fernandes is capable of holding onto the ball for more than 5 seconds and not passing it to the opponent, if you genuinely believe that Christian Eriksen is good enough to play as a CDM in the Premier League, if you genuinely believe that Johnny Evans is good enough to be a centre-back... Now, I'm not making excuses for Erik ten Hag. I'm just saying to you, the fact of the matter is that if we want to continue with this bunch of players, you need to just completely forget about playing attractive football. You need to play park the bus, hit on the counter-attack. I mean, hitting on the counter-attack is quite attractive sometimes from 5 seconds in a game. 60-70% of the game you're sat there with heartburn thinking that the opponent are going to score. At home, you've got Bournemouth outplaying you at home. But then for 5% of the game, you're hitting on the counter-attack, you're playing fast, fluid football, and that's exciting. So, counter-attacking football isn't really that boring. Yeah. I mean, it's just frustrating. It is frustrating. I don't really know what else to say. Yeah, I mean, Ginger said it there. I don't want Erik ten Hag to sacked. I don't want Erik ten Hag to be sacked. These players aren't capable of anything but counter-attacking football. I mean, that's all I'm saying here. That's all I'm saying, all right? And Erik ten Hag isn't a counter-attacking manager. He's having to implement that. Anyway, let's move on from that because I could talk about that for hours. I only usually do a video for 20 minutes and I've literally just spent the last 20 minutes talking about one thing. So I'm going to move on from that. Fred says the squad is playing Erik ten Hag football. That's the problem. Mate, I disagree with you massively. That football yesterday is not Erik ten Hag football. That football yesterday is survival, counter-attacking, my job's on the line, park the bus, hit on the counter-attack football. Go and watch one of Erik ten Hag's games at Ajax. You won't see him doing that in any of them. That's not his style of football. It was 60-70% possession, pinning the opponents in the other team's half. That was what he did at Ajax. And that hasn't happened at Manchester United. And you can't just keep saying, oh, well, it's Erik ten Hag. He's told them not to do that. Why would Erik ten Hag be like, I don't want to play my style of football? He's obviously tried it. As I said, the first 2 games of last season, he tried to play fast, fluid, 60-70% possession. We got battered at home by Brighton and then we got battered away by Brentford. That's a fact. Anyway, Jin says, Kieran, it all comes down to football intelligence. Our players are not intelligent. They don't care. They don't know how to retain the ball and workspace. They are too impatient, kick and run. Exactly, mate. Exactly. And Meglaman says, Erik ten Hag is not stupid. He knows these players can't play possession football. Exactly. That's all I'm trying to say to you guys. Anyway, let's move on from that. Let's talk a little bit about Benzema then. I mean, before we do that, everybody who's watching, please do smash a like on the video and subscribe. We've got over 300 of you watching. If everybody likes the video, we will hit our target of 200. So please go and do that. So the story that broke yesterday, I don't know how much truth there is in this. Is that apparently Man United are considering signing Karim Benzema on loan. He's been frozen out of the squad at Al Ittihad. I think he's fallen out with the manager. I personally don't think this deal will happen, and the reason why is the amount of wages he gets in Saudi It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, there is no way on earth that Man United are going to pay Al Ittihad his wages. Like, it just will never, never, never happen. He's paid 172 million pounds a year, £3.5 million a week. Like, why would Manchester United, or where would they get the money to give Karim Benzema 3.5 million a week? Like, it's complete rubbish. We couldn't even get Amrabat in the summer for £10 million or whatever it was, and you're telling me that Man United are going to cough up 3.5 million a week for for 6 months. It's never going to happen. I think this story's a load of rubbish, and I don't really think Karim Benzema coming in is going to make a hell of a lot of difference. You know, Benzema coming in isn't going to suddenly make us be able to play Ajax style of football or Pep Guardiola style of football. Like, that's simply not going to happen. Almac says, who brought in these players? Okay, we can go through that. Johnny Evans, an emergency loan signing. Varane was Ollie. Wan-Bissaka was Ollie. Diogo Dalot was Ollie. Christian Eriksen was was a free agent. Kobe Mainoo Youth Academy. Rashford Youth Academy. Bruno was Ollie. Garnacho Youth Academy. Højlund was Erik ten Hag. And Onana was Erik ten Hag. So of that squad yesterday, a third of it, not even. Onana was a top signing that he wanted. Højlund, we know that he wanted Harry Kane. Johnny Evans only came in because because Martinez got injured and it was a free agent, and Eriksen was a free agent. So if you're genuinely coming on here, right, and telling me that Erik ten Hag wasted all this money, it's his fault. Obviously, for some players, you can say that. For Anthony, of course, like, that was a bad signing. I 100% appreciate that. But from the players that were available yesterday, right, of that team that started, 2 of them were emergency free agent signings. Højlund should never really be... I like Højlund, but we need another world-class striker as well as him. And Onana, I would agree, was a mistake. But other than that, every single other player in that team has been at Manchester United pre-Erik ten Hag. You're genuinely telling me that Erik ten Hag can turn this team of players who've been coached by Ollie, David Moyes, Ralph Ragnick, Jose Mourinho, Van Gaal, to play counter-attacking part of the bus football, he can suddenly come in and turn them all into something else. Like, I don't think so. But that's just my opinion. Obviously, if you disagree, that's fine. Digital says, you're a genius for saying the facts. I just think that people see things in such black and white and are like, get him out, get De Zerbi in. We'll be playing like Man City in 6 months. Like, if you genuinely believe that, then you're in for a really nasty surprise. I'm telling you for a fact. Like, just... for anybody doubting what I'm saying, just go and look at the starting 11 we played yesterday, or even look at the subs, and tell me that you think those players are capable of playing the style of football that Erik ten Hag wants to play. I mean, if you think that, you know, they are, and that Erik ten Hag's to blame, and that, you know, Johnny Evans is a world-class centre-back, and Rashford passes the ball, and, you know, Bruno Fernandes knows how to retain the ball, like, I don't know what football you're watching, because every single time I watch our attack, they either shoot, or they lose the ball, or they try and do a Hollywood pass. That's all we've done, and we've done that for the last 10 years. So, yeah. My viewpoint now, final point on that, is that either you get rid of Erik ten Hag, keep all of these players, and bring in a counter-attacking manager. Sam Allardyce, I don't know. Literally, I sound like I'm joking, but I can't think of... I mean, Diego Simeone's probably like the best counter-attacking park the bus style manager, isn't he? So, like, that would be an option, you know? You get rid of Erik ten Hag in the summer. If Jim Ratcliffe doesn't want to get rid of, you know, the Rashfords, the Brunos, the etc.s, then you do need to maybe look and get somebody like Diego Simeone, somebody who does play, in my opinion, a boring style of football, but is world class at doing it. You know, parks the bus, 1 or 2 moments of magic in a game, and you win football matches. Like, that's what Jose Mourinho did, and he did succeed at United. He won the Europa League. Did he win the League Cup as well, or the FA Cup? I can't remember. But Jose Mourinho, in my opinion, was successful at United, but people didn't like the style of football. That they thought it was boring, they thought it was too pragmatic, it was too defensive. And that's what I'm trying to get across to you, right? That is what we're looking down the barrel at. That style of football again. Right, let's move on to the next topic. Let's talk a bit about Hannibal then. So it has been confirmed that Hannibal has now moved to Sevilla. It's a loan initially with a 20 million buy option in the summer. Apparently there is a buyback clause. I mean, to be honest with you guys, 20 million, I would take that for Hannibal. I don't think he's I don't think at this point he's worth more than 20 million. I think you can't really argue with that. If it was like 5, 10, I would say that's a disgrace, but 20 million for Hannibal, I'll take that. I think, that would be half decent. So 20 million for Hannibal, that's what's confirmed today. And then also Alvaro Fernandez. This is coming out from Sky Sports in the last couple of minutes that Benfica are now in advanced talks over the permanent signing of Alvaro Fernandez. It says Fernandez was recalled from his loan spell at Granada. Several Premier League teams have been interested in him since the summer, but he looks destined for Portugal. So I think he's going to be moving for about 10 million. So Fernandez to Benfica and Hannibal to Sevilla. Both of those deals have gone through. I'll tell you what, right? If you, in the summer, are going to get rid of McTominay, Maguire, I mean, the list goes on and on and on, then I think this is clever business because we are raising funds for a big rebuild. Like, I genuinely think in the summer we need to go and buy like 10 players, but also sell 10 players, Like, you go through that squad today, as I said, Johnny Evans, I think, will obviously go because he's just as a free agent. He's, 6-month contract. Eriksen, bench player, best. Rashford is good in his moments, but that's what I'm getting across to you. Rashford is a moments player. He's not consistent. He was telling all the United fans to shush yesterday. That was the first goal he'd scored at home since 2022. And when he scored, he was telling all the United fans to be quiet and to stop talking about him. I mean, it's embarrassing. Are those the people that we're, relying on for our future? Big ups to Lee. He says, hi, Kieran, you're 100% right on these players. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a matter of opinion. Some people will just say, sack Erik ten Hag, bring in De Zerbi, we'll win the Champions League next year. And I just think that that's fine, but you're just setting yourself up for disappointment, because if you properly analyse what's going on at Manchester United and you properly look at the players we've got and properly look at the style of football that complements them, it's clear to see that, we're never going to be playing like Man City or Jurgen Klopp's side with this type of team. It's just not going to happen. But that's my opinion. Maybe I'll be proved wrong. Maybe, I don't know, Graham Potter will come in and we'll be playing beautiful football and I'll be sat here looking like an idiot saying that, it's my opinion, but I'm so passionate and so believe in this opinion now that is the ultimatum. You have two options now. You sack Erik ten Hag, you keep the players, and you bring in someone like Diego Simeone, someone like Sam Allardyce. I'm just reeling off names. I haven't thought too much into this. You play somebody who can play park the bus football. Or you keep Erik ten Hag, you back him, and you say Johnny Evans, Maguire, McTominay, Martial, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Eriksen, potentially Bruno, potentially Rashford. Like, you go through the whole of that squad and you just get rid of all of them. You sell them. Obviously, you don't let them go for nothing, but you sell them. And you bring in players who are young, who are hungry, and who can play this possession-based, high-intensity, pressing, dominating football. Because these lot can't do it. You see them trying to press, and it's absolutely embarrassing. Right, let's talk a little bit about Olise. So obviously we've talked about Benzema. We've talked about... Who was the other one? Hannibal. The story coming out this morning is that apparently Manchester United, it says Man United are open to do a swap deal in the summer. Michael Olise for Aaron Wan-Bissaka plus cash. I would be up for that, I think. Is Olise good enough for Manchester United? I mean, at the moment, I'd say yes. Is he world class? I don't think he's world class, but at the age of 22, he's got a lot. He's got a lot of plaudits, He's done very, very well in the time he's been playing football. He's got 5 goals and 1 assist in the Premier League this season already, which is impressive for somebody at the age of 22, playing on the wing for Crystal Palace. Would I do this deal? I don't know. I mean, I think he's got a release clause of 60 million. If, say, we could pay 30, maybe 40 and send Wan-Bissaka the other way, I think that's a good bit of business. Otherwise, I'd probably say no. I think 60 million is quite a lot of money. Malp says, I rate Olise, but he's got a bad attitude. That's the thing, right? I don't really know too much about Olise off the field. I don't know what he's like as a person. So I'm only basing it on what I've seen in glimpses of him playing for Crystal Palace, which is not that much, being completely honest, I would only really watch Crystal Palace if they were playing against, a Man City, a Liverpool, a United, or an Arsenal. Like, I'd probably watch that, but I'm not going to watch, Crystal Palace against Burnley or something. So I don't watch him week in, week out. But yeah, as multiple people are saying in the chat, the most important thing for Manchester United now is getting people with the right attitude, getting people who can actually play this style of football that we want to go forward. And that's why we desperately need this director of football. That's why we need Paul Mitchell. We need Jean-Claude Blanc if he's coming. We need Dan Ashworth. Like, that's what needs to happen. But yeah, let me know in the comment section, guys. Would you like Olise at Manchester United? Yes or no? Yeah, let me know your thoughts. Right, I'm going to wrap the video up there, guys. I usually am only live for about 20 minutes, but yeah, I've gone on for a lot longer than I was planning on. But thank you so much to everyone who's joined me on the show this morning. Please do me a small favour before you go. Make sure to hit the like button. It doesn't cost any money. Do me a favour, why not? And subscribe. Subscribe if you're new. We're on the road to 22,000, so get involved in the show. I will be back live this evening about 6 o'clock as usual. So hopefully we've got some more positive things to talk about because, yeah. But yeah, big ups everybody. Have a great Monday. Hope everyone is well, and I'll speak to you all about 6 o'clock this evening.